Greetings and salutations, fellow sons of AMC, and welcome to AMC Mailbag for Saturday, December the 14th, I believe it is, 2013, the day after I went to go see The Hobbit again for the second time. Just as good, if not better, the second time around. Thanks so much for joining us. My name is John Campea. I am, as most of you know, I'm the editor-in-chief of AMC Movie News, and this is Mailbag. Now, for those of you who don't know, if this is your first time joining us, on our Monday through Friday show, AMC Movie Talk, every day we take a little bit of time to take a question or two from the mailbag. But, you know, we get like over 1,000 questions every week, so that's not a lot. So we started this new show on Saturdays and Sundays called AMC Mailbag, where all we do is take mailbag questions and your questions on the chat board, because this show usually is broadcast live. And we are broadcasting live today. I want to say hello to everybody who's in the chat board already. There's over 400 people in the chat board already, and we're just getting started. So, hey guys, I'm not alone today. I want to introduce, well, first of all, Dennis was going to be here, but Dennis is sick. Then Schnepp was going to come in, but Schnepp is sick. And then it's Aaron's birthday. Amy Rose has family things. So I turn to my most trusty fourth choice, my wife, Miss, there she is, Ann Campea. Hi, Ann.
Fourth choice?
Yeah, kind of like in life.
Wow. You are not getting any of this.
Oh, look what we got.
Medea cookie for that comment.
Hold it closer to the I got a package the other day from Lionsgate, and we're like, oh my gosh, what is Lionsgate sending us? And they sent us a Medea gingerbread cookie.
Smells delicious.
Kind of cool. Actually, it actually does. I wish you guys could smell this. We're in here, and the smell is just like filling the room. It smells like really nice cinnamon. So yeah, a couple of things to get caught today. Look, one of the things you're going to notice right away is that this show is a whole lot more casual than, say, a regular AMC movie show, because this is a lot more casual. We're just sitting here in my home studio here. We're just sitting back, film fans, you and me, just talking about movies. So we're very laid back, very casual in this thing. We talk about a few things. Now, we got a few questions lined up, and as I mentioned, we're going to take 6 mailbag questions, then we're going to take questions from the chat board. But I want to tell you about a couple things before we do anything else. And the most important thing I want to tell you about is this. I mentioned this on AMC Movie Talk the other day. You know, as a bunch of sweaty film nerds, we don't often use our collective sweaty nerdness for good. And as you may know, a little while ago, there was a really heartbreakingly devastating typhoon that hit the Philippines. And the devastation over there is just undescribable. I mean, it's terrible. And what was really bad, and I have a personal connection to this, obviously, because I have family there, because, Ann and I, and, Ann's parents were over there when the typhoon hit. And I remember we were constantly like, you were trying to find out, what the heck was going on. Where were your parents? Were your parents okay? You have aunts and uncles and cousins over there.
Scary stuff.
Yeah, really scary.
They're all
stuff.
okay, though.
And fortunately,
Thankfully.
It was on the opposite side of the Philippines that the typhoon really hit hardest. Yeah. So our family was okay, but there were a lot of families that are not okay. And so here's what we're going to do. As a bunch of sweaty film nerds, here's what we're going to do together. We are, at AMC Movie News, we are spearheading an effort here for us movie nerds to raise money for good. You could hop on Kickstarter and donate money to rich Hollywood people who want to make their own movie and want you to pay for it. Or we can actually donate some money to do some really good, to save lives, to feed people. This is something we can do together. Now, you'll see I've got a URL right here, and it's www.crowdrise.com/AMC Movie News Philippines. Now, if you look in the description of the video, there's a link there as well. You can just click on the link. That will take you to a webpage that we've set up in partnership with the Red Cross, where you can donate money. Our goal is to raise $3,000. And to end our push, on January 2nd, we are going to have, AMC Movie News is going to have a 24-hour live streaming AMC Movie Talk for 24 hours. Just to, I know, and it's like, when I first told Anna about it, she's like, wait, you're going to do it for how long?
And then have AMC Movie Talk the next day,
And
or mailbag, or whatever.
Have movie talk the next day, and I might want to go to bed. But we are going to do a 24-hour thing on January 2nd. But listen, we have the donation page open now. We launched it yesterday. We've already raised over $500. And if you guys are watching the show, you know, if everybody, look, we've got almost 600 people watching the show right now. If everybody donated $10, that's it, $10. We would raise $6,000 just like that. It would be amazing. So I want you to take a second during the show at some point, head on over to that link and donate some money so we sweaty film nerds can actually use our collective nerdiness for good. So I'm going to mention this again at the end of the show. And don't forget, mark it down your calendar. January 2nd, 24-hour AMC Movie Talk. My whole AMC movie crew will be a part of it. We're going to have some special guests that are going to be participating in it with us as well. And look, let's not overthink this. It's just about there's some people who need help. We can help them. Let's do it. All right, so with that being said, something really cool. I want to share something with you that happened to me yesterday, which is pretty good. Some of you have probably heard of the International Academy of Web Television, and they're a part of the big CES conference and the New Media Expo conference that happens in Las Vegas. And they've partnered with them, and they're doing their annual awards. And AMC Movie Talk actually got nominated for 2 awards. We were nominated for Best News Show, which, I mean, I was shocked. I'm really excited about it. I think our main competition is going to be Vivo News, and it's going to be tough. But and then I was nominated for Best Live Host, which is like really a thrill. I have no chance in hell of winning either of these awards, but it's really, really cool to be nominated. The ceremonies are on January 7th in Las Vegas, and I'm going to be there for that. So I just wanted to share that with you guys. I'm very excited about it personally. And some of the other people who are nominated at the IAW TV Awards this year are like actresses like Anna Paquin is nominated for her online show Susanna. Julia Stiles is nominated for her show Blue. Maggie Grace is nominated. Milo Ventimiglia, David Arquette. Our friends, the Fine Brothers, are nominated for like 3 different awards for their Kids React and their My Music show. So it's going to be a great, fun event. I'm really excited to be nominated, so thank you to you guys for all your support and for making stuff like this possible, because you guys are awesome. All right, I'm going to take a sip of my water. Anne is already frantically keeping an eye on the chat board, so you can talk with her, by the way. While we're doing the show, you can just chat with my wife. Lots of guys do, so and she seems totally okay with it.
Wow.
So.
That's number 2.
That's strike 2.
Putting me on blast on this show.
Strike 2. Okay. Let's get into the movie questions and talk about some movie stuff. So let's get into it with question number 1. And question number 1 is this. Javier Barrios writes, I'm a huge fan of Tarantino, and my favorite movie of his is Pulp Fiction. My question is, if that a sequel to Pulp Fiction would be a good idea. And I also still have a small arguments on whether Pulp Fiction was the better film when Forrest Gump won the Academy Award for Best Picture, because they were out in the same year. What do you guys think? I'm going to be honest with you. I have a little bit of a love-hate relationship with Pulp Fiction. And maybe not love-hate, maybe love-indifferent relationship. There are sometimes, I've watched the film like 15 times. And when I watch Pulp Fiction, half the time I watch it, I think, my God, this movie is brilliant. And then sometimes I watch it, I think, meh. And I can't really explain why I kind of shift back and forth that way. Regarding the question about whether it should have won Best Picture the year that it was out over Forrest Gump, the answer to that, I believe, in my opinion, in your opinion may be different, but in my opinion, is hell no. No, it wasn't, I don't think it was a better movie than Forrest Gump. But you're right that Forrest Gump shouldn't have won Best Picture that year. The movie that was out that year that should have won Best Picture was Shawshank Redemption. I mean, if you look at all the major lists about all-time great movies, somewhere in the top 20 or 30, most of them in the top 10, you will find Shawshank Redemption. It is one of the greatest films ever made. It's not just a great film. It's not just, one of the best Academy Award movies. It is one of the all-time greatest movies ever made. And on every major list, it ranks higher than Forrest Gump. Much, much higher than Forrest Gump on all-time greatest films. And yet that year, they gave it to Forrest Gump. And it was a really hot movie, and it had a lot of momentum, Forrest Gump did. And, it's hard to to complain too much about an excellent film winning an Academy Award. And Forrest Gump was an excellent film. But ask anybody today. Forrest Gump was not better than Shawshank Redemption. Pulp Fiction, once again, just my opinion, but Pulp Fiction was not better than Shawshank Redemption. As far as should they have done a sequel to it, I know Tarantino fancied the idea of doing a Vega Brothers kind of spin-off movie. And that did have a little bit of steam to it for a short time, but he abandoned that. And it's a movie that you can't really do an intelligent sequel to, and Tarantino's really not into sequels all that much. So I don't think there's a need for it, and I don't really think Tarantino would ever want to do it. So there's your biggest thing. So should it have won Best Picture? No. Shawshank Redemption should have won Best Picture. Was it great? Depends on what day you ask me. But usually I say, yeah, it was a great, great movie. But would we see a sequel? I don't think we should, and I don't think Tarantino ever would do one. And he's doing pretty well with all of his original stuff. All right.
There are a ton of people agreeing with you. CJ Stevenson, Alric, Scott Gray are all saying, no, there should not be a sequel. It should be left alone.
So it sounds like the majority have spoken. Most of us agree. All right, let's move on to the next question. And the next question today comes to us from Bernardo Lendore. Guys, I am the worst at pronouncing names. I admit it right up front, but I'm doing my best. Bernardo Lendore writes, "Hey guys and girls from AMC, love your work. With Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles on its way, there's little known about the production. I remember a couple of months ago that they announced some of the cast choices, like William Fitchtner as Schredder, really? Danny Woodburn as Splinter. I keep on wanting to say Sphincter whenever I say Splinter. Anyway, I never heard you guys talking about it. Well, we did talk about it a number of times, actually. Can they do well at the box office, especially with Guardians of the Galaxy being released in the same month? And are you looking forward to a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles live-action movie with aliens invading the Earth? Keep up the good work." Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles has had an interesting run right now for a while. Because, first of all, Michael Bay is producing it, and that got some people upset. But let's not forget, Michael Bay is not directing it, he's producing it. So let's not worry about it too much. And Michael Bay, as much as everybody jumps on the hate wagon for Michael Bay, he has proven he is capable of delivering some damn entertaining films sometimes. He's also proven he's capable of delivering some real stinkers. But let's not forget, it's not like he just puts out crap all the time. He has delivered some damn entertaining films over the years. But remember when they first started talking about this Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle and the word came out that the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles were actually going to be aliens from another planet? Remember that? And a lot of people got really, really mad and really upset. And then all of a sudden, it was announced that the project was being put on hiatus. I believe they went back and rewrote the script. Now they're back. Then they cast Megan Fox as April O'Neil. William Fitchtner as Schredder. Here's the thing. William Fitchtner can do anything. I will see William Fitchtner in any movie, anywhere, anytime. He is probably in the top 3 best character actors in the business today. The dude's just amazing. I love this guy. So I have no problem. He's not who I would have picked for a Schredder, but I'm never going to argue against William Fitchtner in any role. You could say William Fitchtner was playing Nelson Mandela. I'd be okay. William Fichtner's playing Nelson Mandela, and I'd be totally fine with it. But so how do I think it's going to do? Do I think it looks good? No. I don't think this movie looks good. I thought the casting of Megan Fox in it was very questionable. I don't like what I've seen and heard from it so far. But remember, keep in mind, these are all just well in advance reactions. We've got to wait till we see some trailers, and we gotta reserve judgment until we actually sit down and watch the movie. But if we're talking right now and asking about our reactions and what are we anticipating, I'd say I'm not looking forward to the movie. It doesn't sound like they've done the right things or made the right decisions in putting it together. So for me personally, not looking forward to it. And no, I don't think it's going to do well at the box office. I don't. But as in all things, let's reserve absolute judgment until we see some trailers and until we see the movie. All right. Anne, anybody saying anything about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles in the chat board there?
Mainly just that Megan Fox, what's this? XA3 Rio says Megan Fox, aside from porn, should not play in any movie.
All right. Tell us how you really feel. All right, let's move on to the next question. And the next question today comes to us from Nick Harding. And Nick Harding writes, "Hey guys, love your work. I'm extremely annoyed at everyone who is scared because of The Amazing Spider-Man 2 has too many villains. I thought everyone wanted the Sinister Six in The Amazing Spider-Man 4, so I'm annoyed. Please share your thoughts and keep up the good work." I kind of got into this a little bit the other day as well when we were talking about what's too many characters. Everybody's worried that, oh my gosh, they got Electro, and they got Rhino, and they got Goblin. It's too many characters. And I brought up the example the other day about, well, let's look at Lord of the Rings, right? How many characters, how many significant characters does Lord of the Rings have? I like 20. 20. And nobody's complaining that's too many characters. Okay, then some people would say to me, but John, Lord of the Rings and Spider-Man are two very different films. Okay, yeah, but we're just talking in generalities is how many characters that have some significance is too many and way down a film. Okay, let's look at Expendables. A lot of us think Expendables is a fun little film. No, none of us are going to give it an Academy Award. But we all think it's a pretty fun, entertaining little shock of a film. It's a lot of fun. They have lots of characters. Just from the Expendables themselves and all the villains and all the... There's lots of characters in Expendables. Look at any movie that you can point at, and you can say there are 12 to 15 minor to significant characters in the film that play certain roles. And just because Rhino and Hobgoblin and maybe Venom and Electro and who knows how many other characters may be in there are all there, that doesn't mean like they're all going to play huge, significant key roles. And you don't need them to. So when I sit back now and I look at how many characters that we recognize their names, and really that's the only difference between, say, movies, I don't know, any movie like Wolf of Wall Street coming out and Spider-Man. If I listed off all the Wolf of Wall Street characters, it wouldn't feel like a lot to you because you don't know those characters because it's a new movie. It only feels like it's a lot of characters and being weighed down because you happen to recognize the names of all these characters. So suddenly it feels like a lot of characters. When in reality, most Hollywood films will have like 10 to 15 characters who play a role of some point, like a significant role at some point in their films. So this is really no different. Now, I can see being upset if you want a movie just to be about Rhino and having all these other villains means taking away from Rhino time. Then I understand why you're upset, but understand the important thing here isn't to serve Rhino. The important thing about The Amazing Spider-Man 2 is not to serve Goblin, not to serve Electro, but rather to serve the movie as a whole. And that's what characters are there for, to serve the movie as a whole. So the important thing is, do they make for a great movie? And so you're right. I don't think people should get annoyed or worried that there are too many characters in the film. A lot of people will point to Spider-Man 3, saying, well, John, they put in Sandman and Venom, and you still had James Franco as Goblin, and that movie sucked. So you see having too many villains in the film will make a movie suck. My argument to that is that the problem with The Amazing Spider-Man 3 wasn't that they had 3 villains. It's that it was terribly written. It was terribly directed. It was just an awful film. And a lot of us just sit back and take the easy road and say, oh, well, the reason it sucked is because there were 3 villains. No, Venom was horrible. Doesn't matter. And look, I didn't want more of that Venom. Sandman in that film was terrible. I didn't want more of that terrible character. Was not going to make that character better. And so that would be my argument against that. But maybe you guys have a different point of view and different opinion. Chat about it in the chat board. Leave your thoughts in there and chat about that amongst yourselves. For now, let's move on to the next question because we got a few more we want to get through and then we want to get to your questions in the chat board. And the next question today comes to us from Tahir Glover, who writes, "Greetings from New York, John and company. I've been thinking about that Arrow TV show and Man of Steel movie could be in the same universe because Arrow could start years before Man of Steel, and with all the DC references the show drops and the characters they introduce, it could fit perfectly with the timeline that of Batman since he's going to be a veteran in Man of Steel 2, and then just expand from there. What are your thoughts?" We've talked about this before. But it's kind of like sports talk radio when everybody wants to compare Kobe to LeBron. LeBron, by the way. It comes up a lot, and it bears talking about. Arrow is one of my favorite shows on TV right now. Ann and I actually do an Arrow after show.
Yes.
On Wednesday nights, which I want to encourage you to join us. It's not on AMC's channel. It's on my own YouTube channel, which is at youtube.com/movieblogtv. That's my YouTube channel, Movie Blog TV. And we do an Arrow after show. And it was funny because a couple of weeks ago, we were doing an... I got to tell you about this in case you didn't hear about it, but we're doing an Arrow after show, right?
It's like a recap.
Yeah, we talk about
questions.
the episode. We wait for the episode to end, then we come in here and we talk about the episode, and people join us live in a chat board. And we're doing our Arrow after show. And in the chat board, people start saying, John, check your Twitter. And I'm like, okay, just ignore it because I'm doing the show. And then some other people start chatting, John, Stephen Amell, for those of you who don't know, Stephen Amell is the guy who plays Arrow. Stephen Amell is trying to get a hold of you. Check your Twitter. I'm like, oh, okay. So I go to Twitter, and sure enough, Stephen Amell has been direct messaging me saying, hey, I need you. Call me. I want to call in and be on your show. So, okay, we stopped the show for a second. I got Stephen Amell on Skype, and Stephen Amell joined us for the show, which was kind of fun. So I'm a big fan of Arrow. I like Arrow. I tell you that whole story just to emphasize the fact that I am a fan of the Arrow TV show very, very much. But no, they're not going to cross the universes, nor should they. They should not cross the movie universe of this and the TV universe. It would just handcuff everything. It would overcomplicate everything. It would create huge contradiction problems and huge continuity issues. Let Arrow live in its own universe to do whatever it wants to do without being hindered and having its hands tied by the movies. Because you know what'll happen. If Arrow's ever in a situation where he's trying to save the city, if they say it's in the same universe as the movies, then everybody's going to start complaining. Oh, well, why didn't Batman come and help him? Why didn't Superman come and help him? You just get rid of all those problems by saying it's its own universe. Let it have its own freedom to do its own thing. And conversely, let the movies be free from the confines of the television show's continuity. Because if you combine the universes and the next time they make a Superman movie, then you have to follow the rules set by the TV shows. If the TV show says New York blew up in season 4 of Arrow, well, now the Superman movies, you got to say New York was blown up. I mean, so it's just not a good idea. I'll go one step further. It's a terrible idea. And they will never do it. They will not cross those streams. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. has been trying to do that, and there's really no crossover at all, and it's a bad show. So let them have their own things. Anyway, let's move on to the next question. And the next question today comes to us from, as I pull up the name here, Michael Martinez. And Michael Martinez writes, hey guys, my question is for you guys is, will we ever get to see a Ratatouille 2? The film was budgeted at $150 million, but it made a little over $600 million. With this much reception at the box office, I'm wondering why it did not receive a sequel. Do you think we will ever get to see one, or is it one of those films that stands on its own? Thanks a lot for the question, Michael. I don't know about you guys, but Ratatouille is a borderline. It's not a perfect movie, but it's close. It's a borderline perfect movie. Mm-hmm. Wonderful characters, great dialogue, beautiful animation, very funny, very engaging. Mm-hmm. It's just a great movie. And one of many Pixar films, by the way, that was the #1 critically rated film of the year, but did not receive an Oscar nomination for Best Picture. I believe Pixar actually has 5 of those. Listen to that again. Pixar has 5 films that were the #1 critically rated films of their year, but because Hollywood has a bias against animation, they never received nominations for Best Picture at the Oscars. I believe it was Up did finally get a nomination for Best Picture. But,
okay. But did they win in the Best Animated Film categories?
Some of them did, but they haven't. The Best Animated Film category hasn't been around all that long.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Yeah, so I mean, it's just one of those things. Anyway, no, I don't think we're going to see Ratatouille 2. Story-wise, it wrapped up. There was nowhere left to go with that story. They told the story, and I think Pixar is starting to move away from sequels. They went through a little stint there where they did a couple, and I think they're moving away. The only, and you guys agree with me on this, I'm sure, the only Pixar sequel I am chomping at the bit for, because it's a movie that is begging to have a sequel. Not like Ratatouille isn't begging to have a sequel. It was just wrapped up, perfectly done. The Pixar film, and I'm sure you guys will know what I'm about to say, the Pixar film that is just dying to have a sequel, nay, needs to have a sequel, is The Incredibles. The Incredibles needs a sequel. That is a movie that just begged for sequels to see the continuing adventures of this super family. There's no reason not to do it. It's just ridiculous that they haven't done it. Don't get me wrong. I really liked Monsters University. I liked it very, very much. But the fact that it got a sequel before Incredibles, the fact that Cars got a sequel before Incredibles, ridiculous. Give us an incredible sequel. We want an incredible sequel. It makes sense to have an incredible sequel. It will make money, an incredible sequel. Huge box office, make an incredible sequel. So that's my thought on that. All right, we got, how many more questions do we have? I think we just have one more, don't we? Let me see here. Yeah, okay, so guys, we got one more question from the mailbag, and then we're just going to take questions from the chat board. So you can start putting in your questions into the chat board. Anne is monitoring it right now, so she has all the power. And she will pick out questions for us to do on the show for the rest of the episode. And you can start writing in your questions now. So let's move on to the last question today. And the last question today comes to us from Cameron Wallace. And Cameron Wallace writes, you didn't talk about the new trailer to Groundhog Troopers on Movie Talk yesterday, and I can't wait until Monday to see if you do. I think it looks great. Emily Blunt, Groundhog Troopers, he's talking about Edge of Tomorrow. I think Emily Blunt is a babe. I watch your show every day, and I love hearing your opinions. So my question for Mailbag is, buy or sell the trailer to Edge of Tomorrow? Thanks, and keep up keeping me excited about the world of movies. Edge of Tomorrow is an interesting thing. Up until a few weeks ago, it had a different title. The title of Edge of Tomorrow a few weeks ago was All You Need Is Kill, I believe was the name of it, which I thought was a much cooler title than Edge of Tomorrow. So I watched the trailer.
We saw it last night, right?
Yeah, they showed it last night.
Before The Hobbit.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, they did. So they showed the trailer, and I saw it a couple of days ago. They had the trailer up a few days ago. I got to tell you, I'm not thrilled with it. Follow me here, too. To me, it felt like Oblivion 2.0. I mean, really, watch the trailer for Oblivion and watch the trailer for Edge of Tomorrow and tell me they don't feel shockingly similar in many, many ways. As a matter of fact, if I didn't see Oblivion, okay, and I didn't know that they were two different movies, and you showed me the trailer for Oblivion, and then showed me the trailer for Edge of Tomorrow, but didn't tell me it was for Edge of Tomorrow, just said, hey, this is the next trailer for Oblivion, I would totally believe it. It would totally feel like that makes sense to me. It just felt like it felt like Oblivion 2.0. And that stuck with me watching the trailer. And because that kind of got me stuck, I couldn't get over it, and therefore I couldn't enjoy the trailer. Now maybe that'll pass. Maybe I'll get over that, and at some point here shortly, I'll be able to watch the next trailer and appreciate it for what it is. But I got to tell you, yeah, I didn't like the trailer, and I think it's just because it felt way too much like Oblivion, which was just out like 8 months ago. So, yeah, that's me. Okay, it is time for us to go to the chat board. Anne has been monitoring the chat board. We're going to spend the next 20 to 30 minutes just taking your questions and interacting with you guys. So, Anne, what do we got?
Bear with me. I'm trying to sift through all of these. There are a handful of people asking when your Hobbit spoilers review is coming up.
Okay, yeah. For those of you who don't know, we launched a new show on our AMC Movie News channel, just called AMC Spoilers. And what it is just we review a movie, but, most movie reviews are to tell you if you should go see a movie or not. Our AMC spoiler reviews are not that at all. They're meant for you to only watch it once you've seen the movie. Because it's really like a half hour to an hour just discussion of us talking about the movie, giving all the spoilers away because we're assuming you've seen the movie. And that's the way we do it. And we did record, because we all saw Hobbit like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
We saw Hobbit 2 weeks ago. So we've recorded a AMC spoilers, The Hobbit, The Desolation of Smaug review, but we just haven't put it up yet because we wanted to make sure people had a chance to see it. Well, it's been in theater a couple of days now, so I'm going to put up The Hobbit, The Desolation of Smaug AMC spoilers review today. Probably about an hour after we're done this show. I'm going to put that Hobbit: The Desolation of Smaug review up. But remember, it is only for you if you have seen the movie already. If you haven't seen the movie already, just add it to your favorites list or your watch later list or whatever, and then come back and watch it once you're done, and then join in the conversation with us. So, but it is going up. It is absolutely going up today. It's actually sitting over here on my computer. It's sitting on the desktop on this monitor over here, just waiting for me to upload it, and I will upload it. Yeah, she's reaching for the
Delete.
mouse.
No, I'm just joking. I think everyone would hate me if I did that.
And then we will have that up later today. So that's when that's coming up. So what's next?
Okay, Tyler Palzer asked, actually, I wanted to ask this one first, but I'll go to Tyler Palzer first. Do you think the title of Man of Steel 2 will be changed to the Justice League movie?
Well, let's be clear here. Nothing ever said it was going to be called Man of Steel 2. Zack Snyder simply said this is the Man of Steel sequel. I don't think anybody in any official capacity said the next Man of Steel film is going to be called Man of Steel 2. Do I think they're going to change it to Justice League? No. I don't. It looks like they're going to introduce us to a lot of Justice League characters. We already know Batman is going to be there. We know Wonder Woman is going to be there. We know Jason Momoa, who was one of my early top 5 picks to be the next Batman, actually. Jason Momoa is in discussions and negotiations to join the film as well. Nobody said, though, what his character was going to be. I think we're going to get introduced to a lot of these characters, but I don't think they're going to have major roles in this film. I think they're going to focus on Batman and Superman in this film. And Batman versus Superman in this film. I think we'll meet Wonder Woman. I think we'll meet one or two other characters, but I think a Justice League comes later. I have a feeling, I have nothing to back this up with. This is just me speculating, okay? I have a feeling we're going to have the new Man of Steel film, which will mostly be Batman versus Superman. Then I believe we're going to get a Batman standalone film, and then I believe we're going to get Justice League. That's the order I think it's going to go. But like I said, that's just me speculating. Don't say, John Campea says this. No. I'm just speculating. I'm just guessing, okay? I could be very, very wrong about that, but that's how I think it's going to go. All right, what else do we got?
Okay, Tyler Myers, another Tyler, asks, thoughts on Emilia Clarke as Sarah Connor? Still skeptical over the reboot, but I think she'll be great in the role. She's beautiful and badass.
The problem here is that other than Game of Thrones, I haven't really seen her in much. So I've only seen her play one type of character. I keep forgetting. Anne, can you look up the name of the guy who played Napoleon Dynamite? I should have it off the top of my head, but I keep forgetting. If you guys know, we're on like a 30-second delay, so it's going to take you guys a while to put it up. But if you guys know who the name of the actor,
John Heder,
John Heder, or however you're saying. Remember, John Heder. He did Napoleon Dynamite, right? And he was great in it. And so everybody thought, this is the next big comedic actor. And they put him in that Rob Schneider movie called The Benchwarmers. And they put him in that Blades of Glory with Will Ferrell. But what we quickly realized was just because he was good in one film, in one role, doesn't mean he was a good comedic actor in general. And so I never get too excited anymore, mostly because of John Heder, however you pronounce his last name. I mostly don't get very excited about these actors who are kind of hot right now, but only hot because of one role they played, because we simply don't know yet. I'm hoping that, that they've casted her because casting directors have seen her audition for a bunch of stuff and they know what her acting chops are. She does excellent in Game of Thrones. She's fantastic in that, but I'm not going to get too excited about it. As far as the reboot, quasi-sequel, whatever they're calling it, to the new Terminator goes, the jury's out for me. One day I feel a little bit excited. The next day I'm dreading it. As of right now, I have no idea how I feel about it, to be honest. So I need to sit back and at least wait till I hear. I don't even need to see a trailer. Just give me a definitive description of what the movie's about. Give me that, and then I can start to form my opinions on how I feel it looks. But right now, I'm completely jury's out. It almost doesn't matter to me who they cast or anything. Let's just find out how it goes. So that's how I feel about that right now. What else we got?
Okay, so Colby Bean and Derek Gherkin both are asking, what do you think of Paul Walker's younger brother getting offered a job to finish Paul's remaining scenes in Fast 7?
Okay, so there's this rumor going around. For those of you who don't know what they're talking about, and let me emphasize this. I don't believe this came from any official source. I do not believe this came from any official source, but as internet news sites do, they run with it as if it's big confirmed news story. A rumor started that Universal was apparently Paul Walker's brother looks a lot like him. They're not twins.
Here's a picture.
And yeah, that does look a lot like him. You scruffy him up a little bit, and that could look a lot like him. So there is word going around that Universal was talking to Paul Walker's brother to have him finish off Paul Walker's scenes, because they were about halfway through filming Fast and Furious 7 when Paul tragically died, to have his brother finish off his scenes in the movie. I don't believe that at all. I don't believe that's true. Now, it might be. There could be some legitimacy to this. Maybe it is true. Maybe Universal is thinking outside the box and they're investigating this possibility, blah, blah, blah. I don't believe it's true. If it was true, I don't know if Paul Walker's brother is an actor. I don't
think so.
Yeah, I don't think you sacrifice the movie just to have a nice, sentimental gesture. I don't think you sacrifice the quality of the movie, because I don't think that's what Paul Walker would want. I think Paul Walker, if you want to honor Paul Walker, you make Fast and Furious 7 the best damn Fast and Furious movie they ever did. Mm-hmm. That's how you honor Paul Walker. And if I don't think going to get his brother, who may or not even be an actor, to finish off his significant character roles, I think that would be a mistake. I think that's sacrificing the quality of the movie for it. I don't think that's how you honor Paul Walker. It's just not how you should do things whatsoever. But I don't know, right? I mean, maybe Paul Walker's brother does have a background in thespianism and is an actor and would do well. And then maybe that's a different story. But going on the assumption that he's something else, he's not an actor, I don't think you sacrifice the movie just to have a nice sentiment expressed in it. I don't think that's what Paul Walker would want. I don't think that's how you honor his memory. So that's just how I feel about it. You may feel differently, and that's totally cool. Maybe you're right and I'm wrong. That's totally fine. I'm just saying that's my opinion on it. All right. What else? Do we got any more?
Oh, we've got a ton.
Because it doesn't look like the chapboard. You got to see this guy. The chapboard, I've got the chapboard here, and it's just it's just running. So I don't even know how you're reading any of this. But anyway, so what else do we got?
Carter Bennett and a few others actually are asking your thoughts on the Interstellar teaser trailer.
Yeah. So an Interstellar teaser trailer was released. Now, for those of you who don't know, Interstellar is Christopher Nolan's newest film with an incredible cast, including Matthew McConaughey. And I got something to say about this Matthew McConaughey thing, but I'll get to that in a second.
What?
I got a big I told you so coming. Not to you.
Oh, that he's hot?
But to you. Okay, so here's the thing. Look it up, by the way. Just go to YouTube, look Interstellar teaser trailer. You'll find it. It's easy. It's not good. Mm-hmm. It's not. Let's just be honest. It's not good. If it didn't say Christopher Nolan, nobody would be excited about this teaser trailer. It's just a teaser trailer. It's not supposed to blow our socks off, but it's just a random collection. You know what it reminded me of? Do you guys ever watch that Star Trek's TV series, Star Trek? What was the last Star Trek series it did? The one that happens early, right at the formation of the Federation. Star Trek something. Anyway, it reminds me a lot of the opening credits for that, where it's just a random set of sequence of historical footage showing when man first flew, when man first sailed a ship, when man first went up in a space shuttle. It's just a random collection of that and Matthew McConaughey giving some narration over it, and then you see Matthew McConaughey driving in a car. It's not a good teaser trailer. It's not. It's just not. I've seen lots of teaser trailers, and teaser trailers can be very good without giving anything away because it's just a teaser. But let's be honest. If it didn't say Interstellar on it and Christopher Nolan, none of us would think this was a good teaser trailer. It's not. That doesn't mean the movie isn't going to be amazing. I'll put $100 on a bet to say that Interstellar is going to be a hell of a great film. I know it's going to be a hell of a great film. So it doesn't even matter that it's a bad teaser. But if you're going to ask me, what did I think about... Oh, and people reminding me that the name of the Star Trek show was Enterprise. Was it? Yeah, the name of the show was just Enterprise. Thank you, guys. Thank you very much. But this, it's not. It's just not a good teaser trailer. And I will venture that if you do think it was a good teaser trailer, that you would not have thought it was a good teaser trailer if you didn't know this is Christopher Nolan's next film. If you just watch the teaser trailer for its own merits, I don't think it's any good. But don't worry about it. Who cares? The movie's still a year away. When they start putting out the real teaser trailers and they start putting out the full-length trailers, then we will get excited. For now, This is really more of an announcement marketing piece than a teaser trailer. So that's just how I see it. All right, what else we got?
Alden Ibrahimovic. I am so sorry for butchering your last name. Do you think that the new Harry Potter movies will be as popular as the original?
For those of you who don't know what they're talking about, it was announced that J.K. Rowling was going to be doing... was it the something fantastical creatures? What's the name of the...
Oh, it's some long...
Yeah. So,
but you got it.
It's basically based on a textbook from Hogwarts, and it's going to be looking at the history of the guy who wrote this big textbook, the fantastical creatures, or
Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them.
Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. What's the name of the author of the book?
J.K. Rowling.
No. But in Hogwarts, who wrote the textbook Fantastic Creatures and Where to Find Them? Because the movie's about that guy.
Newt Scamander.
Yeah. Okay. There you go. So the movie takes place. These new movies that they're doing take place, I believe, 70 years before the events of Harry Potter.
Yep.
So it's not really a prequel because it's not... I think they said we're going to see Dumbledore maybe, but there's going to be no Harry, no Hermione, none of the rest of them. They're not... Anne loves Harry Potter, by the way. None of the rest of them are going to be there. So it's not really a prequel per se. It's a separate story that takes place about 70 years beforehand. Will they do as well as Harry Potter? I'll bet anything no. No. They will not do anywhere near as well as New Harry Potter because people know this isn't Harry Potter. It's in that same universe, it's in that same world, but it's not Harry Potter. So now that's not to say it won't do really well. That's not to say the movies won't be great.
Yeah.
But Harry Potter is one of the most successful franchises in the history of film, and these new films will not be that because it's not Harry Potter. So they may be great, and I'm sure they'll do well. Will they do as well as Harry Potter? No, I don't believe so at all that they will. What do you think, Anne? Like you know way more about Harry Potter than I do. You're like it's like Guardians of the Galaxy. You know way more about it than I do. So, wait, is Medea missing a leg? Did you actually eat Medea's leg?
Medea is now a one leg short.
Oh my goodness! You've been eating while I'm doing the show. Thank you so much. Okay, so do you think it has a chance of doing as well financially?
No, I don't think as well. I think what you're going to get is all of the loyal Harry Potter fans seeing it. I don't even know that you'll get any new fans to the world, the mythology, seeing these films. It really just might be us older folks coming to see something that we've missed for the last few years. So that's my opinion. Okay,
what do we got next?
People are asking, Tyler Myers and Kearns X117 are asking, where's the I Told You So Matthew McConaughey?
Oh, yeah, the Matthew McConaughey thing. Okay, so, it's funny how when the seasons change, everybody develops a big selective memory. For years, I have been telling people, this Matthew McConaughey, you all sell him short. He is a hell of an actor. Just because he's been in some stinkers or went in direction of taking advantage that he has this rock solid physique and he did all these movies, without his shirt on and all these bad romantic comedies. He did one or two good romantic comedies, actually. Mm-hmm. So despite the fact that he's done all that, Matthew McConaughey is one hell of an actor. He's awesome. And everybody would write to me, "Oh, John, you're so stupid. Matthew McConaughey sucks. I bet you want to see Failure to Launch 2. All this kind of stuff." Everybody would laugh at me, and I'd stand fast and say, "Dudes, if you saw Amistad and don't acknowledge how good of an actor McConaughey is, you don't know what you're talking about." He was in that one sub movie, that wartime sub movie too. U571 or something like that. I mean, he was really good in that. The movie wasn't great, but he was excellent in that. I said, trust me, McConaughey, great actor. Everybody called me an idiot. Now where are we? About a year later, Magic Mike has come and gone. Where McConaughey got some awards buzz for that.
Yeah, it was great.
Mud has come and gone. Now he's got Wolf of Wall Street. Yep. He's got the Dallas Buyers Club. Mm-hmm. Then all of a sudden, Christopher Nolan steps in and casts him in that. And when they did, I said, look, everybody, I told you. Christopher Nolan sees the greatness in Matthew McConaughey. He knows. And now everybody's like all excited about Matthew McConaughey. Now everybody, it's like as if they all knew. Where were you when I was standing alone against the angry horde of Matthew McConaughey haters. Where were you to make me stand alone all by myself? So whatever. I just want to get that off my chest. Okay, what's next?
Brendan Henderson asks, how would you feel about having all the Nintendo characters in their own movie and do the Marvel effect and make a big Super Smash Brothers type movie?
It wouldn't work.
Oh.
No, it wouldn't work. This is a nifty idea. I think there's some merit to saying, what about having a Nintendo movie just with all the big Nintendo characters, a.k.a. like a Wreck-It Ralph in many ways?
Yes.
I think there's some merit to be had there, but it looks like those people, they're working with Disney. And I believe they've said Mario will make an appearance in the next Wreck-It Ralph film, which is kind of cool.
There's another Wreck-It Ralph film?
Oh yeah, they're working on it. They haven't announced a release date, but I mean, I talked to the director, and the director said, yeah, he's working on it, and they're developing it. There's going to be one.
Oh,
we still have no idea when. Hasn't been greenlit yet, but trust me, it's coming at some point. Might be 2 years from now, might be 3 years from now, but it's going to come. And they said he's working Mario into it.
Sweet.
But as far as doing individual, no, it wouldn't work. There's just not enough people who'd be interested in it. I know it feels like there would be, but there aren't really. So I don't think it would happen.
Considering the sales of Nintendo, I think you're right.
Yeah, we were just in Best Buy today. Ann and I were walking around Best Buy. We go to like Best Buy like once a week and look at all the new tablets and the Xbox One, get your hands on it, whatever. And we walked through this sad, very lonely section of Nintendo games. And we're like, oh, does anybody buy these anymore? And there was nobody. Best Buy was packed with people, and there was nobody in the Nintendo aisle. It was very, very sad. I'm not to say that there aren't some great Nintendo games, but nobody buys them anymore. And I honestly don't know why. I don't know why they fell so far behind, but anyway.
Okay. Gar55 Rocks 1 asks, with the way that Marvel movies are going right now, do you think that it is possible for an Infinity Gauntlet movie, at least if not a Silver Surfer movie? Bring on the filthy.
Silver Surfer does not belong to Marvel. Silver Surfer belongs to Fox. So if there's going to be a Silver Surfer movie, it would be a Fox thing to do. And Fox is rebooting and relaunching their Fantastic Four series. And that's coming in 2015, or they might have just bumped it to 2016. But it is coming, and it's being directed by Josh Trank, who directed Chronicle, which I thought was fantastic. So they're doing that, and I'm sure we will see Silver Surfer in that universe at some point. What was the first part of the question? Oh, an Infinity Gauntlet movie.
Yes.
I believe Avengers 3 is going to be an Infinity Gauntlet movie with Thanos. I mean, the Marvel Universe has already pointed us enough to the fact that the Infinity Gems and the Gauntlet, that's all going to be playing a major part. It's obvious it's not going to be in Avengers 2, but I believe Avengers 3 will be about Avengers versus Thanos, and it'll all be over the Infinity Gauntlet. That's what I believe. So yes, I do believe that is coming.
Okay. CJ Stevenson asks, is it just me or is anyone else worried about Guardians of the Galaxy after seeing that horrid mid-credit scene from Thor 2?
That was a bad credit scene in Thor 2.
It was, it didn't mix well with just the way the movie was. And again, Guardians is just like this loud, kind of really colorful comic. So I could see why it looked that way, but I don't think a lot of the audience that was seeing Thor 2 understood what was going on.
No, and it felt out of place with the rest of the film. Like all the after credit scenes in all the other Marvel movies, they felt in place. Like they felt like they fit in that. And then this after credit scene with Guardians of the Galaxy first of all, it looked like it was shot on a home handycam.
Yeah.
It didn't even look like it was shot on a professional grade film camera. It looked like it was shot on a handycam. It felt like a cheap television sci-fi scene in like a low budget spaceship
I actually
set.
half expected Will Ferrell to be in what's his face's
Benicio del Toro.
In Benicio del Toro's place because it looked like it was actually a joke.
Yeah. I expected any second the collector to go, "Mom! Waffles! Pancakes, goddammit, Mom!" Oh, I swore there. I shouldn't have said that. But anyway, that's what I kind of expected to happen, and it didn't. And I agree with you. But does a mid-credit scene worry me? No, because the trailer looks all kinds of awesome. I think the trailer looks spectacular if you saw the leaked The leaked trailer looks, I think it feels like a lot of fun and very spectacular. So while I agree it was a terrible credit scene, I don't think that's going to be reflective of the film as a whole, because the other stuff I've seen looks really, really good. So I'm excited about it. All right. We're getting close to an hour, so let's just take a couple more quick ones.
Okay, Chris Hogg asks, will a Grand Theft Auto movie ever get made based on the games? Could it work?
Could work, yeah. Grand Theft Auto is a very popular and recognizable name brand at this point, not just with gamers. I think a lot of people, even people who aren't gamers, have heard Grand Theft Auto. And it's one of those games where you could basically make any movie you wanted to and call it Grand Theft Auto. I mean, you don't even have to really follow the game. Look, I don't play Grand Theft Auto. Anne has started playing Grand Theft Auto. A number of my friends play Grand Theft Auto, and not one of them has ever come to me and said, "Oh man, the story of it's so good." None of them talk about the story of Grand Theft Auto. Unlike, say, The Last of Us, where everybody's like, the story in The Last of Us is so great. Grand Theft Auto is not about the story, and therefore you could almost do anything and slap the brand name Grand Theft Auto on it. I believe that will happen, and I believe probably within the next 2 years we're going to hear an announcement of some sorts saying that X and X Studio is developing a Grand Theft Auto film. I believe it's coming.
Okay, Neighbor Raider, nice name.
Great name.
Yeah, Star Wars question, Boba Fett film post Return of the Jedi, your thoughts?
I hope not. I don't. Star Wars. I'm a huge Star Wars fan. I'm done going backwards. I'm done going backwards. I don't want any more prequel stories. This guy's origin story. I don't want it anymore. I don't need it. I want to move forward with Star Wars. Okay, I've been waiting 20-something years to move forward with Star Wars. So that's just me. I know a lot of people will be very, very excited about a Boba Fett movie or a young Yoda movie or a young Han Solo movie. I know a lot of you guys would be excited about that, and I'll be happy for you if they do that. But if you're going to ask me what my opinion is, I'm going to say I'm done moving backwards with Star Wars, okay? We've been going backwards with Star Wars forever with all of the Clone Wars stuff and all of the prequels. And it's all been backwards. Let's move forward, all right? Let's move forward. That's just the way I feel about it.
Okay. Hardesty Fool asks, Warhammer 40K movie, your thoughts?
I played the Warhammer 40K game. As a matter of fact, Ann and I went to have dinner with some friends in Pasadena the other night. And right across the street from it was the biggest game store.
Empire Center Games.
Empire Games, maybe in Pasadena. It was the biggest one I've ever seen. And so Ann and I go wandering in there. Ann had never been in a place like this.
Amazing.
And it's like all Warhammer games, like all the role-playing games, Dungeons and Dragons stuff, because I'm also used to be very, very big. Imagine that. I used to be very big into desktop pencil and dice role-playing games. I still love pencil and dice role-playing games. Those are the best games. And I played the Star Wars role-playing game. I used to play DC Heroes. I used to play Dungeons and Dragons. What was the name of the new one? The one that everybody's saying is kind of replaced Pathfinder. I have not played Pathfinder yet, and I think very soon either just me and Ann are going to start looking for a group to play Pathfinder with because everybody's saying it's really good. Are we like the ultimate nerd couple or what? Anyway.
Losers.
And this place was amazing because like half of it was like the size of a small Walmart, and like half of it is just big empty floor space with tables where just people go in to play Magic the Gathering or play Warhammer or whatever. Anyway, on to the question about would we see a Warhammer 40K movie? No, it's a brand name that is only recognized in a very niche group of the community. It wouldn't have brand recognition. There's just too many other movies you could do that would look like a Warhammer 40K, and you wouldn't have to call it Warhammer 40K. So I'm going to go out on a limb and say no, we're probably not going to see a Warhammer 40K real theatrically released movie. Maybe somebody will do a little animated thing for the internet at some point, but for a real, actual theatrically released film, I don't think it's going to happen. All right, let's take one more.
Okay, Loki Lofacin asks, how do you feel about Don Cheadle in Avengers Age of Ultron?
Let's make this very clear. That's not confirmed. That is not confirmed. A rumor was started the other day that Don Cheadle could be making an appearance as War Machine in the new Avengers film. And then everybody just kind of ran with it. And I looked into it, and there's one site that said, we can confirm this now. And that was a very good site. It's called HitFix. They're a very reliable site. I've got friends who work over at HitFix. Excellent, excellent website. But I do believe they made the mistake of saying, oh, we can confirm it because they didn't. Okay, you could confirm it. That means Disney put out a statement saying, until somebody from Disney, or until Joss Whedon, or until somebody who's actually in the production, in the studio, says that this is what's happening, take it with a grain of salt. It is not confirmed. So even though HitFix says it's confirmed, it's not confirmed yet, okay? And now, it may very well end up being true. Because like I said, HitFix, excellent reputation. And I'm very hard-pressed to point to many instances when HitFix said something was the case when it wasn't, okay? They're a very reliable website. But let's make no mistake about it. Until Disney puts out a statement, it is not confirmed and it's not real. But let's assume for a second that it's going to happen. If it does happen, yeah, it makes sense. I got no problem with it. I mean, Avengers is really loaded with characters. They've just also added Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver, and they've announced a number of other characters that are going to be joining the already existing roster. But as I already mentioned earlier in the show, I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing or a negative thing. And it would fit. I mean, he's a part of that universe already, so it would kind of make sense for him to make an appearance. But just take it with a grain of salt, guys. Until we hear Disney say that this is what's happening, don't assume that it's happening. All right? All right, so that'll do it for us. I think we are all out of time. This has been almost an hour. Listen, guys, look, I'm going to warn you right now, and I don't care. You're going to get sick of hearing me say this over the next couple of weeks, and I don't care if you get sick of hearing me saying this, because this is important. Please, if you enjoy watching these shows, if you enjoy, Ann doesn't even work for AMC. She just volunteered her time for you guys.
He pays me in gingerbread cookies.
In Madeira gingerbread cookies. Please, if you like these shows, you like what we do here on Saturday, stuff like that, don't send us money. Do us a favor, head on over to that site that we set up in cooperation with the Red Cross for typhoon relief, disaster relief. Please go on over there and donate $10, donate $20. We actually had somebody donate $100. We've already raised over $500 in just one day that we had this thing up. Our goal is $3,000. I think we can exceed it if all of us as sweaty movie nerds get together and do that. So please check, either just type in this URL that you see here, or go into the description of the video. The very first thing is donate to our Philippines typhoon relief efforts, and the link is right there. Just click that link. You'll see a big Donate Now button. Click that. It goes straight to the Red Cross Typhoon Relief Disaster Efforts. Please help us do that. Join with us in making a difference, and then don't forget to join us on January 2nd for our 24-hour-thon marathon live streaming AMC Movie Talk. I'm gonna have my whole crew with me. I don't know how much of it I don't know how I'm gonna survive, but please join us for that, and that'll do it. So, Ann Campia,
yes,
thank you so much for helping us out today.
You're welcome.
Thank you guys for being here today. And where can people find you online if they want to find you?
You can find me online at Ann Campia or also at Team Amazing.
And you can find me online anywhere, just at John Campia. And come visit my other YouTube channel sometime, just youtube.com/movieblogtv. And thank you most of all to you guys. Listen, keep the conversation going. Jump on down to the comments. Leave your thoughts on any or all the topics going on here. Share it around. Lots of great movies playing at AMC movie theaters right now, including The Hobbit, The Desolation of Smaug. This movie's amazing. Head on over to www.amctheaters.com for your theater, showtime, and movie ticket information. So, my name is John Campia. Until tomorrow, we got another live show tomorrow. I'm going to aim to have it up at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. So come on back tomorrow and join us again for more movie talk. Thanks for joining me. My name is John Campia. And until then, bye-bye.